Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to IELTS with Shayban. Today the class is going to be the second recording for the group today, and we are going to start with a special speaker here today. He speaks slowly. Okay, so not fast, not hesitative. He speaks slowly, and I want you just to look at the way he develops his topic, the topic development. Does he give, we say, fully developed responses? Just this. And again, remember I said he speaks slowly, a slow speaker. Anyway, let us see how he performs. And this is part 3 speaking. Let's watch, then we can see his band scoring, inshallah. Listen, please.
Right, now we've been talking about interests and hobbies. I'd like to discuss with you one or two more general questions related to this. So let's consider first of all current and future hobbies. What do you think are the most popular types of hobby in your country?
Sports and for example football. Football I think is the most popular one.
Why do you think that is?
I think, okay, first football is popular in most places in the world, and I think it's an easy game to play when since you're a kid, and also the media helps, television and the radio.
In what ways?
They always show football on television, and they always any match they always show it on television. Yeah, so that helps, and the news as well as football.
Do you think the popularity of football is likely to continue into the future?
Yes, it will, because kids like football, and most of the kids in my country like football, and they play it, and it's likely that they will play it when they're older. We will watch it.
So you don't think it might be replaced by something like basketball or rugby?
I think other sports will become more popular, but football is still going to be very popular. Don't know if it's going to replace like being the most popular sport, but other sports are becoming more popular, but football is still the most popular one.
So there's something special about football?
I think it's a good match is very nice to watch, and it's not that difficult to play for boys, and now girls are playing it as well, so that's another thing.
Well, let's move on to the social benefits of hobbies. Do you think there are social benefits of having a hobby?
Yes, I think that it keeps people busy doing something healthy or productive.
Why would that be a benefit?
I know, for the society, and instead of doing maybe something that will hurt the society or something like that, especially for boys, that they can just use their free time doing something productive.
On the other hand, do you think there are any dangers of spending too much time on a hobby?
If you don't go to school and play football all the time, for example, or don't go to work somewhere and just sit in front of a television watching a match, maybe, yeah, everything in excess is not good.
Right, let's move on to leisure time. A lot of people today talk about the balance between leisure and work. What is the balance between leisure and work like in your country?
I think people work too much. Okay, more than the leisure. Why
do you think that? Why do you think people work too much?
I think because I think salaries are not that high, and people need to work a lot to provide themselves, I think. And also, I think, on the other hand, professional people just want to go higher in the job ladder.
So do you think this will change in the future, or will it always be like this?
I think it's changing now. people realize that you can be productive without staying all day doing things all the time.
Right, thank you very much. That's the end of the speaking test.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you have, I think, noticed his slow pace, speaking slowly, comfortably. Yes, but how about the topic development? When he asked him about football, do you think spending too much time is a good thing or a bad thing? How about his answers? What do you think? Short. Do you think this is short? Short answers. Okay, for your surprise, this is a band 7 speaker. This is a 7er. This is a 7er. He's slow, but confident, of course, but this is the type. Be yourself. This is his way of speaking. We call these types of students that we say the safe side students. Some people, they know their abilities. So what do they say? Let us be in the safe side. I don't want to speak fast. I don't want to speak more to make mistakes. I'm good. This one is one of them. He's a 7er. This candidate can maintain the flow of conversation without noticeable effort, speaking smoothly, comfortably. So no effort, you can see, without pushing on himself. Although he has rather slow delivery with some hesitations, he uses a range of reference markers fluently and naturally to give cohesion. It's likely that they will, so that helps. Overall, however, his topic development is limited and he doesn't extend his responses sufficiently to reach band 8. I think he could achieve band 8, but he didn't do it. Anyway, so this is, and he said, expressions of, let's say, everything in excess is not good. To provide themselves, want to go higher and higher on the job ladder. Anyway, but in general, his performance is really good. So I think you can be even better than this guy. Anyway, it's the feeling the examiner has about the interview. So if you speak, I can understand you clearly, comfortably, for sure you are more than 6, for sure. Yes, I thought one of you said 5. Who said 5? No one? Band 5? Okay, anyway. Okay, I'm not going to wait more. Let's go to the listening part, because today we have a very, busy schedule. So please go to your course book, open up page 246, please. 246, please. Test 2. Then open your computers. Go to your computers. Yes, Dr. Shayban, open the file on the desktop. Yes, go to the computer. Start your computer. Naji, start your computer from the case box. Yes. Okay, go to test 2. Test 2. Okay. Is there a problem, Naji? Come on, change your PC, no problem. If it is not working, maybe the power is off, just the power, the extension. It is your power, the power. Yes. Okay. Yes, it is what we have. Okay. Good. Okay. Okay, go to the file. File 9, test 2.
Test 2. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. there will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear a student talking to the student accommodation officer at a college. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Good morning. Can I help you?
Yes, I've just been accepted on a course at the university, and I'd like to try and arrange accommodation in the hall of residence.
Yes, certainly. Please sit down. What I'll do is fill in a form with you to find out a little more about your preferences and so forth.
Thank you.
The student wishes to arrange accommodation in a hall of residence, so hall has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good morning. Can I help you?
Yes, I've just been accepted on a course at the university, and I'd like to try and arrange accommodation in the hall of residence.
Yes, certainly. Please sit down. What I'll do is fill in a form with you to find out a little more about your preferences and so forth.
Thank you.
So, first of all, can I take your name?
It's Anu Bhatt.
Could you spell your name, please?
Yes, ANUBHATT.
Thanks. And could I ask your date of birth?
The 31st of March, 1972.
Thank you. And where are you from?
India.
Oh, right. And what will you be studying?
I'm doing a course in nursing.
Right, thank you. And how long would you want to stay in hall, do you think?
Well, it'll take 3 years, but I'd only like to stay in hall for 2. I'd like to think about living outside for the 3rd year.
Fine. And what did you have in mind for catering? Do you want to cook for yourself or have all your meals provided? That's full board.
Is there something in between?
Yes, you can just have evening meal provided, which is half board.
That's what I'd prefer.
Yes, a lot of students opt for that. Now, with that in mind, do you have any special diet, anything we should know about?
Yes, I don't take red meat.
No red meat.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
Now, thinking about the room itself, we have a number of options. You can have a single study bedroom or you can have a shared one. These are both what we call simple rooms. The other alternative is to opt for a single bedsit, which actually has more space and better facilities. There's about £20 a week difference between them.
Well, Actually, my grant is quite generous, and I think the bedsit sounds the best option.
Lovely. I'll put you down for that, and we'll see what availability is like. Now, can I ask some other personal details which we like to have on record?
Yes, of course.
I wonder if you could let us know what your interests are. This might help us get a closer match for placing you in a particular hall.
Well, I love the theatre.
Right.
And I enjoy sports, particularly badminton.
Ah, that's worth knowing. Now, what we finish with on the form is really a list from you of what your priorities are in choosing a hall, and we'll do our best to take these into account.
Well, the first thing is I'd prefer a hall where there are other mature students, if possible.
Yes, we do have halls which tend to cater for slightly older students.
And I'd prefer to be out of town.
That's actually very good for you because we tend to have more vacancies in out-of-town halls.
Lucky.
Yes. Anything else?
Well, I would like somewhere with a shared area, a TV room, for example, or something like that. It's a good way to socialise.
It certainly is.
That's it.
Now, we just need a contact telephone number for you.
Oh, sure, I'll just find it. It's 667549.
Great. So we'll be in contact with you as soon as possible.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 2. Section 2. You will hear a man giving a talk to new members of a wildlife club in the south of England. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 13. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 13.
Hello, I'm delighted to welcome you to our wildlife club and very pleased that you're interested in the countryside and the plants and creatures of this area. I think you'll be surprised at the variety we have here, even though we're not far from London. I'll start by telling you about some of the parks and open spaces nearby. One very pleasant place is Halland Common. This has been public land for hundreds of years, and what you'll find interesting is that the River Ouse, which flows into the sea 80 kilometres away, has its source in the common. There's an information board about the plants and animals you can see here, and, by the way, the common is accessible 24 hours a day. Then there's Holt Island, which is noted for its great range of trees. In the past, willows were grown here commercially for basket making, and this ancient craft has recently been reintroduced. The island is only open to the public from Friday to Sunday because it's quite small, and if there were people around every day, much of the wildlife would keep away. From there, it's just a short walk across the bridge to Longfield Country Park. Longfield has a modern replica of a farm from over 2,000 years ago. Children's activities are often arranged there, like bread making and face painting. The park is only open during daylight hours, so bear that in mind if you decide to go there.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 14 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 14 to 20.
Longfield Park has a programme of activities throughout the year, and to give you a sample, this is what's happening in the next few days. On Monday, you can learn about herbs and how they've been used over the centuries. You'll start with a tour of our herb garden, practice the technique of using them as colour dyes for cloth, and listen to an illustrated talk about their use in cooking and medicine. Then on Wednesday, you can join local experts to discover the variety of insects and birds that appear in the evening. We keep to a small number of people in the group, so if you want to go, you'll need to phone the park ranger a few days ahead. There's a small charge which you should pay when you turn up. I'm sure you're all keen to help with the practical task of looking after the park, so on Saturday you can join a working party. You'll have a choice of all sorts of activities, from planting hedges to picking up litter, so you'll be able to change from one to another when you feel like it. The rangers will be hard at work all day, but do come and join in, even for just a short while. One thing, though, is to make sure you're wearing something that you don't mind getting dirty or torn. And finally, I'd like to tell you about our new wildlife area, Hinchingbrook Park, which will be opened to the public next month. This slide doesn't really indicate how big it is, but anyway, you can see the 2 gates into the park and the main paths. As you can see, there's a lake in the northwest of the park with a bird hide to the west of it at the end of a path, so it'll be a nice, quiet place for watching the birds on the lake. Fairly close to where refreshments are available, there's a dog walking area in the southern part of the park, leading off from the path. And if you just want to sit and relax, you can go to the flower garden. That's the circular area on the map, surrounded by paths. And finally, there's a wooded area in the western section of the park, between 2 paths. OK, that's enough from me, so let's get on and have a look.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 3. Section 3. You will hear the Director of Studies in an English Language Centre and a student representative talking about their Self-Access Centre. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Hi, Yun. As you know, I've asked you here today to discuss the future of our Self-Access Centre. We have to decide what we want to do about this very important resource for our English language students. So, can you tell me what the students think about this?
Well, from the students' point of view, we would like to keep it. The majority of students say that they enjoy using it because it provides a variation on the classroom routine, and they see it as a pretty major component of their course. But we would like to see some improvements to the equipment, particularly the computers. There aren't enough for one each at the moment, and we always have to share.
Well, yes, the teachers agree that it is a very valuable resource. But one thing we have noticed is that a lot of the students are using it to check their personal emails. We don't want to stop you students using it, but we think the computers should be used as a learning resource, not for emails. Some of us also think that we could benefit a lot more by relocating the Self-Access Centre to the main university library building. How do you think the students would feel about that, Yun?
Well, the library is big enough to incorporate the Self-Access Centre, but it wouldn't be like a class activity anymore. Our main worry would be not being able to go to a teacher for advice. I'm sure there would be plenty of things to do, but we really need teachers to help us choose the best activities.
Well, there would still be a teacher present and he or she would guide the activities of the students. We wouldn't just leave them to get on with it.
Yes, but I think the students would be much happier keeping the existing setup. They really like going to the Self-Access Centre with their teacher and staying together as a group to do activities. If we could just improve the resources and facilities, I think it would be fine. Is the cost going to be a problem?
It's not so much the expense that I'm worried about, and we've certainly got room to do it, but it's the problem of timetabling a teacher to be in there outside class hours. If we're going to spend a lot of money on equipment and resources, we really need to make sure that everything is looked after properly. Anyway, let's make some notes to see just what needs doing to improve the centre.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Now, what about the computers? I think it might be a good idea to install some new models. They would take up a lot less room, and so that would increase the workspace for textbooks and so on.
That would be great. It is a bit cramped in there at times.
What about other resources? Do you have a list of things that the students would like to see improved?
Yes, one of the comments that students frequently make is that they find it difficult to find materials that are appropriate for their level, especially reading resources. So I think we need to label them more clearly.
Well, that's easy enough. We can get that organised very quickly. In fact, I think we should review all of the study resources as some of them are looking a bit out of date.
Definitely. The CD section especially needs to be more current. I think we should get some of the ones that go with our latest course books and also make multiple copies.
Good. Now, I was also thinking about some different materials that we haven't got in there at all. What do you think of the idea of introducing some workbooks? If we break them up into separate pages and laminate them, they'd be a great resource. The students could study the main course book in class and then do follow-up practice in the Self-Access Centre.
That sounds good.
OK, now finally we need to think about how the room is used. I'll have to talk to the teachers and make sure we can all reach some agreement on a timetable to supervise the centre after class. But we also need to think about security too, especially if we're going to invest in some new equipment.
What about putting in an alarm?
Good idea. The other thing I'd like to do is talk to our technicians and see whether we could somehow limit the access to email. I really don't want to see that resource misused.
What about if we agree to only use it before and after class?
Yes, that would be fine. OK, anyway, that's great for now. We'll discuss it further when we've managed to sort.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 4. Section 4. You will hear the beginning of a lecture about business cultures. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Now, whether you're going to university to study business or some other subject, many of you will eventually end up working for a company of some kind. Now, when you first start working somewhere, you will realize that the organization you've joined has certain characteristics. And we often refer to these social characteristics as the culture of the organization. This includes its unwritten ideas, beliefs, values, and things like that. One well-known writer has classified company cultures by identifying 4 major types. The first type is called the power culture, and it's usually found in small organizations. It's the type of culture that needs a central source of power to be effective. And because control is in the hands of just 1 or 2 people, there aren't many rules or procedures. Another characteristic is that communication usually takes the form of conversations rather than, say, formal meetings or written memos. Now, one of the benefits of this culture is that the organization has the ability to act quickly. So it responds well to threat or danger on the one hand, and opportunity on the other. But on the negative side, this type of organization doesn't always act effectively, because it depends too much on 1 or 2 people at the top. And when these people make poor decisions, there's no one else who can influence them. And the kind of person who does well in this type of business culture is one who is happy to take risks, and for whom job security is a low priority. The next type is known as role culture. That's R-O-L-E, not R-O-L-L, by the way. And this type is usually found in large companies, which have lots of different levels in them. These organizations usually have separate departments that specialize in things like finance or sales or maintenance or whatever. Each one is coordinated at the top by a small group of senior managers, and typically everyone's job is controlled by sets of rules and procedures. For example, there are specific job descriptions, rules for discipline, and so on. What are the benefits of this kind of culture? Well, firstly, because it's found in large organizations, its fixed costs, or overheads as they're known, are low in relation to its output or what it produces. In other words, it can achieve economies of scale. And secondly, it is particularly successful in business markets where technical expertise is important. On the other hand, this culture is often very slow to recognize the need for change, and even slower to react. What kind of person does this type of culture suit? Well, it suits employees who value security and who don't particularly want to have responsibility. Moving on now to task cultures. This type is found in organizations that are project-oriented. You usually find it where the market for the company's product is extremely competitive, or where the products themselves have a short lifespan. Usually, top management delegates the projects, the people, and other resources. And once these have been allocated, little day-to-day control is exercised from the top, because this would seem like breaking the rules. Now, one of the major benefits of this culture is that it's flexible. But it does have some major disadvantages, too. For instance, it can't produce economies of scale or great depth of expertise. People who like working in groups or teams prefer this type of culture. And finally, the fourth category is called the person culture. This type is quite unusual.
That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. In the IELTS test, you would now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet.
Okay, now check your model answers. Okay, from the results we have, there is, we say, a variety of achievements. And I think this one, you asked me before the class about the matching, Ali, and today you had the map again. It's about matching. So the map in section 2. So it's about matching. Anyway, you have it. Now you just listen to it. This is what we have. This is the, and section 4 is about business. Something maybe not in your part of study, but anyway. So the average is between 2021 today, if I say the average. So we need to reach the average 26, minimum 26. This is our goal, inshallah. We have still 4 or 5 listenings to go, still. So this is a very long practice. Now, everybody, I want you to move now to reading. We are going to start a passage today and controlled reading. And I'm going to start with you today again, 26 minutes today, 26 minutes. And we are going to go to your books, please. Page number 14. Page 14, please. This is, yes, this passage is about telepathy. Any ideas about telepathy? Like telecommunications, telephone. Telepathy means tawarud al-khawatir, or people can understand each other without talking. So I can read your mind, you can read my mind. Anyway, this is called telepathy. Even if I don't know the meaning of the telepathy, in telepathy here there are actually 2 types of questions. Let us follow the strategy of yesterday. We have matching question, 27 to 30. Then you have the table which is 10 questions. So which one you think is better to follow? The table thing or the matching thing? The table. So use your time, because here you have, we say, what's called direct keys. If you look here, we say Gansfield studies 19 to 82. That's a year. Description, then you have 3 answers about the Gansfield. Then We have flow, that means the negative issues. You have 2 questions. Then auto gas field studies. Again, you have the key 2 issues in here, result 1 question and the negative sides 2. Let us manage, this is a real exam test. This is passage 3, should be the most difficult one, should be. But let us see, can you manage the 26 minutes in answering 10 questions? If you have extra time, you can answer the matching things. And I will show you after you finish that we can manage them both in this time or less than this time. Okay, now you have 26 minutes. Okay, starting, you can start from, let's say now. Start, please. Go. Yes, the recording. While I was looking at the way in your answering, of course, I look where you are looking at. Okay. Many of you were not following the procedure of reading. Ahmed, no highlighters in the exam. Be careful. No highlighters. If you use a highlighter, this will be considered cheating. Okay. Anyway. Yes, so I'll check this point again. I know a person, so they might say something about it, but I know, no, you can use a pen or a pencil. Pen is better, why? Because you can see the key when you circle, it's black and white. So the color is black and white, so the blue is clear here. Okay, let us start with the first question, then I'll come to this one here. Here's a complete each sentence with the correct ending below. These questions, 27 to 30, they come in order. As I don't know if you had the time to do them or not, but I'll show you all of them. Yes, come in order. In order. That means 27, then 28, 29, then 30. So in the passage, they come one after one. Okay, I double check this now. While you were working, I double check. Anyway, let's go to the researchers with differing attitudes towards telepathy agree on. So he said researchers. If you go to the paragraph, this is page 16. Go to the passage, please. He said researchers. So this is what? This is your key. Now let's find researchers. Where are they? In paragraph 2. Okay, remember I told you to name them. This is 1. This is 2, number them. This is 3. It is easier if you don't have A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You put the numbers to make them easier to follow. So if you look here, he said some researchers. He said the question was researchers with differing attitudes towards telepathy agree on. I have to read this because this is a main idea question. So he said, say the results constitute compelling evidence that telepathy is genuine. Other parapsychologists believe the field is on the brink of collapse, having tried to produce definitive scientific proof and failed. Skeptic and advocates alike. I don't know if you know these words, skeptic, al-mushakkikin, skeptics and advocates, wal-musanidin. Okay, so skeptics, a skeptic person, معناها مشكك. So this is about researchers, the result, skeptics and advocates alike, do concur on one issue. What is the issue? That the most impressive evidence so far has come from the what's called the Gans field experiments, as German term that means whole field. Reports of telepathic experiences had by people during meditation led parapsychologists to suspect that telepathy might involve signals passing between people. So they agree what? On one thing, the discovery of a mechanism. So I'm reading here, they agreed in one thing. Yes, most impressive evidence so far has come from the so-called Gans field experiments. So they agreed on the Gans field experiments. These people, these researchers, they agreed on one issue. What is the one issue? I'm going to highlight it, as Ahmed did. He said, agreed so far to come for the so-called Gans field experiments. Then we have a comma explaining what does it mean gas field. So they agreed, most impressive has come from the so-called gas field. So they agreed on something called gas field. If you go to the answers, نستخدم الهيدنج technique again. So number one, A, the discovery mechanism, no. The need to create suitable, no. Their claim of high, no. Solution, the problem posed, no. Significance of the Gans field experiments, the same thing, Gans field experiments, Gans field. So number 27 is E. Is it E or F? E. Then, reports of experiences during meditation indicated. So we need the word meditation. The key here is meditation. Now search for meditation. Yes, we are here. Signals, we said usually. Yes. So question 28, the same paragraph, in paragraph 2, on paragraph 2, he says here, where is it? Where? Yes, so in this case, such might be more easily detected by those experiencing like tranquility in a relaxing whole field of light, sound, and warmth. Yes, so here, in this case, I need this case, هذه reference word, اليوم حناخذها today. Reference word means you go one step back. So reports telepathic experiences had by people during meditation led parapsychologists to suspect that telepathy might involve signals passing between people that were so faint they were usually swamped by normal brain activity. In this case, such signals might be more easily detected by those experiencing meditation, like tranquility in a relaxing whole field of light, sound, and warmth. So reports indicated what? Here, if you go to the answers, B, very good. Yes, so question 28, so this is E, and 28 is B. They need to create suitable. Yes, okay. Now, number 29, attitudes to parapsychology would alter drastically with 29, attitudes, parapsychology, attitudes to parapsychology attitudes, he said. Okay. He said attitudes. I want the key attitudes. Now search for attitudes. So we finished in paragraph C, or not C, paragraph 2. 3 attitudes. Yes. Okay, here. This is the attitude here. This is the key. What are they certainly not finding? I'm reading here. Is any change in attitude of mainstream scientists. Most still totally reject the very idea of telepathy. The problem seems, at least in part, from the lack of any plausible mechanism for telepathy. So here, they haven't got any mechanism for telepathy. Attitudes, 29. What is the answer? A. Okay, you are good. So 29 is A, the discovery of mechanism for telepathy. Just follow the key. Find the key, read the sentence, you find the answer. So this is A. So A, and this is E, and this is B. Finally, recent Otto Gansfield trials suggest that success rates will improve. So this is a suggestion. So recent means what? When I say recent, now, yes. So we finished here. Where was the last key? Here, where is it? Attitude here. Guys, look, we finished here. Question number 29. So 30 should be after it here, for sure. They come in order. Now, so he says, recent Otto Gansfield trials suggest that success rates will improve with. So I want the Otto Gansfield okay, visitors to include demonstrates typically. Yes, in here. Where is it? Here. Okay, he says here. Some work has already begun with researchers trying to identify people who are particularly successful in Otto. Early results show that creative and artistic people do much better than average in one study. Yes, musicians achieved higher rate. Perhaps more tests like this will eventually give the researchers the evidence they are seeking and strengthen. So, okay, so what is the answer? It is F. Very good. The answer is F, more careful selection of subjects. This is the order we do it. So E, B, A, and F. Good. After we finish this one here, we have a new question. So again, we start over. We start over means, what is the first key? Question 31. So 31 is the first, then 32, 33, 34. So they come again in order. That's the idea, the issue here. We have two things in here. This is telepathy experiments. This is like a summary. We have Ganzfeld studies and auto Ganzfeld studies. So the key here is yes. Yeah. With summary, I want you to write a note. With the summary questions, this is like a summary. With summary questions, comma, what summary questions, comma, the fronting technique, the fronting technique or techniques might be used or may be used. We don't say might, may be used, because may be used. What is the fronting? We said we have the key, maybe, so in the same paragraph, so they change order in the same paragraph. That's it. Okay, now let's go the key for question 31. He said Ganzfeld studies. So this is question 31. Ganzfeld and the year, we have 1982. So this is the key. Ganzfeld, 1982. When you find it, you find the answer. So Ganzfeld, paragraph 1, 2, 3. Yes. So here, where is it? Yeah. Good. So this is here. This is the rate. This is the year. I need the Ganzfeld. The Ganzfeld starts he said the Ganzfeld experiment tries to create those conditions with participants sitting soft, reclining chairs in a sealed room, listening to relaxing sounds while their eyes are covered with special filters, letting only soft pink light. In early Ganzfeld experiments, the telepathy set involved identification of a picture chosen from a random selection of 4 taken for large image bank. The idea was that person acting as a sender would attempt to beam the image over the receiver, relaxing in the sealed room. Okay, so this is the Ganzfeld. So what does it, here we have all the answers, I think. Ganzfeld involves a person reacting as sender. So this is question 31. Then who picked out one picture or image? Image or picture, no problem. So you can say image or you can say picture. So picture or image, question 32. Then from a random selection for and a receiver, because he said sender, حطها بين inverted commas بين قوسين, and a receiver. So this is question 33. Okay. Then results. Hit rates were higher than random guessing. Flow. Positive results could be produced by factors such as, and yes, so flow means the negative. The results from the first were analyzed in one of its pioneer, blah, 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 blah. They pointed, yes, typical hit rates. فكلمة hit rates موجودة وين؟ results. So this is معناها احنا ماشيين في الطريق الصح. This is a key. نقوله keyword. Okay, small, yes. But one of which statistical tests just couldn't be the down. The implication was the Gansfield method had revealed real evidence for telepathy, but there was a crucial flaw. فكلمة flaw هنا is the key. موجودة عندكم في الفlaw is in the argument one routinely overlooked in more conventional areas of science just because chance had been ruled as an explanation didn't prove telepathy must exist. There were many other ways of getting positive. So here, كمل in the flaws. Results. These ranged, then these had the flaws, results from sensory leakage. So this is a question 34, and where clues about the pictures to outright fraud. So this is a question 35. So two things, sensory leakage and outright fraud. Who cares? Sensory means when they think, when you have it in this way, it is not a real telepathy, not real. Sensory leakage اللي هو تسرب الأحاسيس أو تسرب الإحساسات أو الحساسات. Anyway, whatever it is, I don't care. He's just a minute. Look. He said, there were many other ways of getting positive results. These ranged from sensory leakage, where clues about the pictures accidentally reach the receiver, to outright fraud. Yes, so حتى من ضمن هالاحتيال. Yeah, ممكن واحد يدعي إنه he's a telepathic. Anyway, okay, yes. Now, Otto Gansfield. Now we go to the next one here, key. For questions, هذه الكي هنا في Otto Gansfield key for questions 36 to 40. After this, many researchers now go to the Otto Gansfield. Okay, so this is the key. He said description were used for key tasks to limit the amount of and carrying out the tests. Yes, in many researchers, automated variant of technique which used computers. So this is a question 36. Okay, to perform many of the key tasks, such as the random selection, by minimizing human involvement. So to limit here, to minimize, limit, minimize. So human involvement is question 37. No, limit the amount of human, not the risk, it's human involvement. He said, yeah, no more than 3 words. Okay, risks, oh, you said risks of human involvement, it's okay. Why? Look, he said no more than 3 words. You are okay. If 3 words, risks, not off. Did you say off? Risks. Human involvement, no off. And we don't use off and over and okay, so we don't and the articles, no, we don't use them. Is, are, was, where, no, we don't use them. Okay. Yes, no prepositions. Okay. Then he said, question 38, the results were then subjected to. In results, هذه هو الكي. The key from hundreds of tests were studied by Honerton in meta-analysis. In a meta, so this is 38. In a meta-analysis, a statistic for finding, that's a definition. When you have these inverted commas, هذا هو المصطلح. When we have inverted commas, inverted, عندما تشوفوا هذه الكلمة, this is the, we say, the technical term, مصطلح. We use it. اللي يجي بعدها is explanation. This is a summary. So in the summary, we have technical terms. Anyway, you are not wrong, but this is how we do it. Anyway, next time when you see these inverted commas, no, there should be a question. Okay, when you see inverted commas like this, here, there is a word in here, be careful. Yes, take care, there is something important. It's a technical term. A technical term. By practice, an important technical term. Yes. Then the flaws, okay, when we say yet, when you see yet here, yet means something opposite. Some parapsychologists remain disturbed by the lack of consistency. So this is question 39. Between individual gas field studies, defenders point out that demanding, impressive, okay. Then test between different test results was put down to the fact that sample groups here, هنا samples, large samples, yes, so samples are not big enough. So this is a question 40. So the samples, the group is just not big enough, as with most gas field studies, big enough, large enough, as you like. Okay, this is how we do it. If you finished 9 out of 13 or 14, you are very good. Even 8, you are very good. Correct. How many correct? Remember, you had 26 minutes. 9. Okay. 8 or 9, even 7, guys. This is passage 3. The most difficult passage. Okay, this is how we do things. We manage, yeah. At the end, if you reach 24, 26, this is a 6.5. Everyone will be happy at the end of that day for sure. Okay, now let's have a break, and tomorrow we will do it again, inshallah. Again and again. How many times, I don't know, but tell you, yes. Practice makes perfect. Okay, let's have a break now. 15 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Linking words. Why linking is an important topic or subject in IELTS? Do you remember the Japanese student when the Japanese, he talked about free time activities? Okay, page 157. 157. When the Japanese student, he was talking about free time, his answers were mechanical. يعني جاوب بطريقة كأنه حافظ حفظ mechanical ميكانيكي it's not مش ميكانيكي يعني as mechanic but like I don't know we say rotting يعني by heart يحفظ عن حفظ copy paste. So, and most of his linking was at the beginning. So today we are going to do together how to link ideas using linking at the beginning of the sentence, middle of the sentence, which is an excellent technique and push you to more than band 6 in grammar. Okay, for example, here we have the list of, we say the list of, okay, shut the camera, list of the linking words. So you can say, for example, of course, firstly, a good example of this. And again, we said linking without linking, you cannot have even band 5. Now, here we are going to link these 4 sentences and we are going to use the words in the box. Now, in these sentences, you will find the main idea and the development of the main idea. So you give the main idea, then the linking word with the development of the idea. So this is a real practice. Number 1, if I asked you, what kind of holidays you think will be popular in the future or in the next 100 years? What kind of holidays would be popular in the future or in the next 100 years? Imagine this is a speaking test. What kind of holidays you think will be popular in the future? How would you answer? So, well, we said a very good technique is to start from now. We say, well, now, people, nowadays, people, what? Where do they go now for holidays? So nowadays, people go for, yes, they visit sites. They travel maybe for healthcare, for shopping. Then you answer me here like this. But in the future, it's impossible to predict what type of holidays popular will be taking in 100 years' time. Then he says it is possible, use a linking word, it is possible that space travel will be a realistic option in the future. So we say it is possible. Come on, use a linking word. It is possible, not of course. It is possible, for example. It is not wrong, but you have to use appropriate linking. Okay, it is possible, for example, that space travel will be a realistic option in the future. Space travel. Good. Full stop. It would completely transform our traditional view of a holiday. Of course, it would completely, or you can use better than of course, Naji. In fact, of course is not wrong, it's okay. In fact, or of course. In fact, it would. Okay, if you look at here, for example, you can see it is in the middle of a sentence. And if you look at in fact, it's at the start of the sentence. Most of students, they start beginning. But if you make a variety, beginning, middle, beginning, this is an advanced level. You can see it's not difficult to put, it says, it is possible, for instance, it's possible, for example, Okay, so use the variety, and this is change. Good. Number 2. Do you think supermarkets are good things? Do you think a supermarket or supermarkets are a good thing? Now look at the answer. I would argue that they are a good thing. In some countries, okay, in my experience, or you can say for instance, but anyway, it's not wrong. In my experience, in your experience, that means you travel around the world. Okay, from your experience. In my experience, in some countries, they can offer so many products that it is hardly necessary to shop anywhere else. Full stop. The other view, the opposite view. There are sometimes instances of local opposition, but this is usually short-lived. Supermarkets are not a common thing in many countries, by the way. If you go to Tunisia, if you go to India, if you go to Syria, these countries, their products are very important to them. Supermarket means all the products are from what? From overseas. Okay, so if you go to India, for example, Syria, Tunisia, from my experience, I haven't seen the supermarket as I see it in here, because the supermarkets here, they are full of products which are produced or imported from out of the country. But in their country, they don't accept the idea of importing goods, and because this would make a competition with the national or local product. So in India, of course, there were even clashes between the police and the owners of the shops, the small shops. They sell, all the products are made in India. So when these products are coming from overseas, this is what for them? They lose business. So he says here, opposition معناها معارضة, اعتراض. Here opposition means. So we say, of course, there are sometimes instances of local oppositions, but this is usually short-lived. Of course, there are some oppositions, معارضة, اعتراض, but these are what? Short-lived. What is short-lived? For short time, then, yeah, then everything finishes. Okay, 3. Yes. If I ask a question, who are the worst drivers in the world? Who are the worst? Men or women? Young men. Why not young women or women in general? Okay, yes, catching the steering wheel as if catching a horse or a camel, just catching it anyway. But they are not driving fast as men. They are careful drivers, always at the middle. They never change right or left. And anyway, and drive very slowly to be safe. Anyway, now look here. This is why he is saying the view, and he is supporting the point with example. And this is very, very important. Statistics show that, of course, should be statistics shows, statistics, not a plural one. It's like mathematics, physics, okay? Shows that the worst drivers in the world are young men. This is his opinion. Yes? A good example of this a good example of this, I have to write it here. If you look closely at any car that is going too fast or overtaking in the wrong place or driving too close to the car in front, there will be a young man in the driver's seat. So 3 examples: too fast, taking over, okay, or too close, you will find a young man in the driver's seat. So here he says statistics. Yeah. What is the highest or the worst country in car accidents, or the highest percentage? Which countries? You won't believe it. Number 1 is the US in car accidents, then Saudi Arabia. If you look at 360 million, and in Saudi Arabia they are around, I don't know, 36 or 40 million, the second highest rate is in Saudi Arabia. Libya in the past, not now, but according to the number of people and the number of accidents, the rate was, I had my statistics, but they were old. In 2009, I think, there was a Libyan physician, and he made statistics to the government from the casualty department in Zawiya Street Hospital, Mustashfa al-Hawadith. Okay, and the numbers were horrifying. Thousands and thousands of young men every year either got killed or paralyzed. We say paralysis, a shalal al-rubai. Shalal al-rubai means it's better to die. And with the fractures, ثم الكسور, then casualties, ثم الإصابات. So death, paralysis, we say casualties, fractures, الكسور, then finally. The number was huge, more than 3,000 every year killed, 6,000 or 8 got paralyzed, shalal, okay, and fractures, I think 12,000 something, and the casualties that are broken noses or whatever. So the number was huge according to the limited number of people. Anyway, so that was, yes. 4. Why do you think governments should protect historical buildings? Do you think governments should protect historical buildings? Opinion here. So he said, yes, I strongly approve of the preservation of historic buildings. Why? Now he's development explaining. Yes, he said secondly here. So here we say, firstly, they are part of our heritage. What is heritage? That's inheritance. This is heritage. It's part of your background, cultural heritage. So if you go to the old city, if you go to Ghadames, if you go to Sabrata, if you go to Shahat, if you go to Liptis Magna, this is your heritage, historical heritage, الإرث التاريخي. Okay. Yes, inheritance, الورث, that يختلف حاجة ثانية. So heritage. Okay, and have you ever heard of the word we say World Heritage Site? A World Heritage Site. What is a World Heritage Site? There are many in Libya. If you go, I think there is a place called Qasr Ahmed, I think. I don't know, it's just building for storage, old, or Ghadames, or old city here. The old city here is a World Heritage موقع موروث عالمي. So world by the UNESCO, you know UNESCO? So they named it a World Heritage Site, كموقع موروث عالمي, and they even spend money to protect it, to keep it as good as it is. World Heritage Site. Okay, so strongly approve of the preservation of historic buildings. Firstly, they are part of our heritage, and secondly, they are often very beautiful. Unfortunately, too many have already been destroyed. Too many of these World Heritage sites have already been destroyed. My hometown, so we say, you give an example, so we say, we said for example, so we say for instance. Let's say for instance. I don't want to repeat for example, so I say for instance. My hometown, where whole streets of lovely houses were knocked down. Knocked down means destroyed, in order to build high-rise flats. Yes. In many parts, in Cairo, I think you heard of this, in many parts of Cairo and many other cities, they are actually destroying the old houses just to have a high-rise flats. Maybe anyway, but this is kind of destroying the heritage. Okay, the second technique today, the linking, we have reference words or referencing. And in referencing, this is a very good technique to avoid repetition. One of the major defective issues, أحد أكثر العيوب in speaking and writing, is to repeat. I have a problem. The problem is, then this is a problem. So problem. Okay. We have, let's say, increase in accidents. This increase in accidents. So you repeat the same word. Repetition means bad 5 unless 4 or 5. How to avoid repetition? By referencing باستخدام كلمات الإشارة. So you refer. Today I'll show you 5 to 6 words, no more than 6. 5, 6 words, but you can use them with, let's say, 20, 50, 100 words. So they are only 5 or 6, but you can use them almost with anything. Let's have a look. Of course, the most common reference words, we say this. We have this, these, those, others, such, one, another, who, which, where, that. You can say even that. Okay, so these are the reference words, the common ones. Generally speaking, air travel has come down in price over the past 5 years. Air travel has come down in price in the past 5 years. He says, then you say, this has been the result. You can say just this, or this reduction. Okay. You can use the word reduction. Anything goes down. Anything goes down. Prices, accidents, numbers, money, anything goes down. You can say this reduction. Anything versus the opposite. Anything goes up. We say this. You say this rise or increase. You not ask one increase, decrease. So this rise, anything goes up, we say this rise. Anything goes up, this increase. Anything goes down, we say this reduction. If you just change the word, كلمة واحدة, it can, one word can shift you from band 5 to 7. if we say the number of passengers, yes, has come down in the last 5 years. This reduction, band 7 and more. Advanced level, you are not saying the number again, or we say this coming down again. You don't repeat. This reduction has been the result of airlines offering no-frills service. What is no-frills service? Where, or you can say that passengers, where passengers pay for refreshments. What is no-frills service? You take a ticket from London to Berlin, for example. You will see maybe it is 70 euros. You say, London, Berlin, 70, yes. No frills service, nothing. They give you nothing, no water, no juice, no sand, nothing. Just the seat. If you want, where passengers, if you want, you can pay for the refreshments, the services, whatever. If you want water or juice, you have to pay on the plane. Now we talk about percentages. Whenever we have numbers or percentages, you can substitute them with figures or figures, just figures. The word figures, anything goes with numbers, anything goes with statistics. مع الإحصاءات you just say تغيرها بكلمة figures. Okay, 50 to 70% of students are taking the finals this year in Libya. Okay, for example, these figures, these numbers might be changing in the future. So we don't say 70, 60 will be changing. No, we don't repeat. Yes. Just under 40% of people in the UK and 50% of Americans say that work is the most important part of their lives. Okay. So we say these, you can say these figures, these numbers, these, so these figures. Yes, these figures increase further when you include retired people looking back on their working lives. Now, the word, we have now the word attitudes. Attitudes. Anything related to feelings or emotions. Anything, love, hate, like, dislike, admire, respect, neglect, anything with feelings, you can say attitudes. That's it. شوفوا الكلمة اللي تجمع كل هذه المعاني. Many students hate having mathematics, we say, exam as as a first subject in the exam. Hate. So this attitude is because many students like, love, admire these attitudes. So anything with feelings, use attitudes. So numbers, we say figures. Something going up, increase. Something going down, reduction. Anything goes with feelings, we say attitudes. So 4 or 5 words, guys, wallah, you can substitute them anywhere, speaking, writing. So this is, even in task 1, if we say the percentages are increasing, these figures, okay? This increase, this reduction. So reduction, increase, yes. Okay. So we say these attitudes or you can say such attitudes. Such attitudes is better because I want to use such. Here we say such attitudes may be changing, however. Now, any questions before we still have 2 to go? Yes, go to the next, please. Now, I want you to try yourselves number 3 and number 4. Just yes. Number 3. Yes. So we say however. Now look, however, then linking, middle. However, these qualities are not as highly rated by teachers themselves. Okay? Who? Who are the others? Because he says who, the teachers themselves. Now he's talking about the teachers who suggested that commitment to their subject was more important. So that the teachers say that. Number 4. Yes, this rise or this increase. This rise, you can't say rise or increase. And unfortunately, it looks unlikely that such trends or these trends, that these trends, yes, will be reversed. Number 5, people's views vary on the subject of recycling waste. Yes. Okay, we can have it easier. We can make it easier. We say these or those. These who live near recycling centers usually support it, while others or those who have to travel long distances to recycle their rubbish often just don't bother. Now, the last part of today's, we say grammar. This is grammar. This is language class. Is how to build up. We say how to build up a fully. We say a meaningful passage. And this passage is, he's going to use reference words in linking. How to use referencing. For example, the question is, do you think the government should spend the money on, we say, treating people, or the money should be spent on research or medical research? Do you think money should be spent on treating sick people or treatment, or this money should be spent on medical research? I want you to read this paragraph, and if you have a highlighter or a pen, just underline, put a line under the reference words, linking and referencing here. And you will see how the ideas are linked in a very, very simple way using referencing. Do it, please. So you can see here the reference words. So we say, obviously some medical research is essential. So medical research is essential. So no repetition, we say without it. So you don't say without medical research again. So just without it. yes, we would have no vaccinations against diseases such as polio, no drugs such antibiotics, and no treatments like X-rays and radiotherapy. Nevertheless, the field of medical research is very competitive, and the field of medical research is very competitive. And then we say this has financial disadvantages. Take, for example, the current research being conducted on HIV virus. So current research being conducted on the HIV. HIV means the AIDS. Yes, in this field, so this is a reference. It is regrettable, it's arguable that money is being wasted in that. Scientists throughout the world are working independently towards the same ultimate goal, to find a cure for AIDS, and with the same hope of becoming famous in the process. Surely it would be more productive and less costly if these scientists joined forces and an international research team was set up with joint international funding. So this is what, even if you can't write like this one, 3 references, 2 references will be okay. We say what is called, I need one thing, which is called complex sentence. 2 sentences in one structure, or 2 meanings in one sentence. Okay, now I have to finish up now the technical things with how to link 3 or 4 sentences together. This is called relative clauses. Relative clauses, of course, we are here talking about a complex sentence. Complex means advanced level of English. Now, I have 4 sentences in here, and 4 of them, they talk about one issue. It is the World Cup. So number 1, the World Cup is the largest sporting event in the world. The World Cup is played every 4 years. The World Cup, or the event, is hosted by a different country each time. The World Cup or the event generates a huge amount of money. So sentence 2, 3, and 4, all of them, they talk about the World Cup. But what are the ideas? What about the ideas? So it is the largest sporting event, played differently every 4 years, okay? Every 4 years in a different country, and makes too much money. Now we have to think about here, what are the main ideas and what is the supporting idea? This is our technique now. Main idea, supporting idea. In any complex sentence, or طبعا complex ترجمتها بالعربي اللي هي جمل معقدة, nothing معقد here. Or مركب, whatever. It is just, we have 2 things. What is the main idea? And what is the supporting sentence to the idea? Supporting means to give extra meaning. So we have the main meaning, then we have the supporting or extra meaning. Now look at the sentence. The World Cup, which is held in a different country every 4 years, is the largest sporting event in the world and generates huge amounts of money. I want you now to tell me which one is the main idea, which one or which sentence is the supporting idea. What is the main idea? Okay, so this is what here. So this is the main. Okay, so this is the main. What do we do here? The World Cup, then we separate it. Or طبعا هي أصل الجملة. The World Cup is the largest sporting event. So what do we do? This technique. The World Cup, then we put the extra, which is held in a different country every 4 years, is the largest sporting event in the world and generates a huge amounts of money. So here is, we say, the supporting idea. Not fronting, but supporting. تقديم والتأخير. This is called a support. This is called a relative clause. عبارة, not a sentence. لما تقرأها لوحدها, which is held in a different country every 4. وشنو هي which is held? Okay. The man is my boss, or the man is my manager. The man who's wearing a black T-shirt. So who's wearing a black T-shirt is what? لكن the man is my manager. معناها this is the main idea. The man is Mr. Ahmed. Okay, the man who's standing there is Mr. Ahmed. So the man is Mr. Ahmed, the main. Split it شوية نفرقها ونحط في النص the extra in the middle. We put the extra information. In this way, I can say the man is Mr. Ahmed. He is standing over there. Compound or simple. The man is Mr. Ahmed and he is standing over there. Compound. Compound, simple, تعتبر simple. Like how to make it complex. The man who is standing over there, who is talking with people, who is watching the TV is Mr. Ahmed. And that's it. Split, finish. So we can have 2, 3 ideas. What is your task? Is, did I say record or not? Is it recording? Okay, recording. Your job is to try to link minimum 2 ideas together. Now, I want you now to use the same technique here. Sentence 1, mobile phones. And it is a familiar topic for you guys. So we have 3 sentences. Mobile phones used to be very expensive. 2, only wealthy people had mobile phones. And today, mobile phones are extremely common. Yes, link them, please. If you finish, tell me you finished, and let us see what have you already Yes, come on, it's just one sentence. Come on. Yes, Sami.
Why was that money when people had it? Why it used to be very expensive, become extremely common.
Well, the linking is not correct.
Why?
So you can say, yes, mobile phones, yes. Which used, what? Which used to be very expensive. Yes. And only wealthy people. No, had them use the reference, and only wealthy people, don't repeat, had them, comma, are what? Are extremely common today. Okay, mobile phones, which are extremely common today, used to be very expensive, and only wealthy people have them. You can make the main idea as you like. The main idea here, the mobile phones are extremely common. هذه المين. The extra, which used to be very expensive and only wealthy people. You can change it. You say mobile phones, which are extremely common today, used. Yes. Okay. Yes, another answer, Ahmed. We are talking about mobile phones in general, not mobile phone, Ahmed. It is a general issue, talking about phones in general. So you have to say mobile phones or phones which are extremely common today, used to be very expensive, or mobile phones which used to be very expensive are extremely common today. As you like, you change the main. What is the main here? Mobile phones, he said, are extremely common today. That's the main. The extra, which used to be very expensive and only wealthy people have them, that's the extra. So let's change the color to make this is the main here. So we say main, the main idea. The extra, the supporting, the blue one here. The supporting, which used to be very expensive. You decide the main, you decide the supporting. Okay, let's do this one, the next one quickly. We still have 3 sentences to go. You are looking at your exam. This is what you should use in your exam, speaking or writing. If you want to get 6 and more, you have to give me, we say, such examples, such samples. Many young people are overweight. Many young people spend their evenings in front of the TV. Advertisements for unhealthy food are shown between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. So many young people. Try to link these two at least. Yes, Ahmed.
Many young people
Mhm.
overweight food and they're living in front of me when advertising for happy food.
Okay, well, the last part is okay when you say when, but the first part is incorrect. We say many young people who are overweight, yes, comma, spend their evenings in front of the TV. Many young people who are overweight spend here their evenings in front of TV when advertisements for unhealthy food are shown between, or you can say and watch if you like, and watch advertisements for unhealthy food which are shown between. But you said when, which is a correct, very, very good link. Many young people who are overweight, or many young people who spend their evenings are overweight, as you like. Okay. Anyway, just try to link these two together. When you have two ideas, I don't need three ideas, by the way, you will be good. Not good, actually, very good if you can. Yes, yeah, just link two ideas, better than using and, or, but, just which, where, who, okay, yes. Now, we have number 3 about, let's say, males and male issue. Few people communicate by a hard copy mail these days. What is a hard copy? It means the letter, the envelope, yeah, with a stamp, yeah. Hard copy letters are used mainly in formal situations. So a hard copy. Emails have become the most common form of written communication. So, just a minute. When you say hard, few people communicate by hard copy mail, okay, which used mainly in formal situations these days. Just because hard copy mail هذه حتقول which are used. بعدين كمل. Which are used mainly in formal situations these days. Okay. Then emails. How to link emails? Because it's another idea. So you can say, however, comma, emails have become, or nowadays, emails have become the most common form of written communication. Because emails here is the supporting idea for, I talk about hard copy mails and formal situations. Formal means like wedding parties, like graduation parties, like invitations, okay, between companies, etc. Okay, now number 4, here we have about global warming. Some people believe human beings are responsible for global warming. Other people, so some people, other people, think global warming is caused by climatic factors. Here you have to use linking and reference words to avoid repetition. هنا عندنا حيكون 2 in 1. 2 things in 1. Yes. Yes. You don't say but. While what? We don't say some people, we said some people here. We said some people, we said it. So while others, هذه for some people. Reference word. So we don't repeat some people, some people. Some people believe human beings are responsible for global warming, while others, yes, while others think what? Think it is caused, or this is caused. This is caused by climatic factors. Okay. The influence of climatic factors. Yes, the climatic factors, which what? Which their influence cannot be altered. Cannot be altered by lowering pollution levels. Pollution levels, full stop. So this is called a compound complex structure. Three ideas talking about three different things in one sentence. Okay, so some people believe human beings are responsible for global warming, while others think this is caused by climatic factors, which their influence cannot be altered by lowering pollution levels. So you can say while, then which. Okay, so here we have two. Okay, is it possible to link 5, 6, 7 ideas together? Is it okay to keep linking like this? Technically, yes. Grammatically, yes. But meaning will be weak. Why? Because it would be difficult to follow the ideas in here. So maximum, guys, 3 ideas will be more than enough. 2 is excellent. 3 is, well, is good. We don't say bad or it's very good. But the more you link, the less meaning is, we say, understood. Okay, anyway, so here we just a technical thing. This is exactly what you have in reading, by the way. You remember the passage about the nature of genius, when they say people mistrust the gifted, comma, 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 comma. There are no linking here, just the comma, because they are examples. Anyway, we don't do this in the real test, but this is, yes. Now I have finished. This is your issue. You can develop this by listening for 6-minute English. The more you listen, the more we say, the better you become. It's a practice thing. You have to feel the sentence, which one is the main, which one is the extra. Let's have a final break today now, because I want to give an introduction for the advanced level after the break. And from this point, we will move, inshallah, to the advanced level with examples, model complete We say model answers, and in this way, everything will be perfect, inshallah. Let's have a break. Let me have. Okay, welcome back, page 159. Look at this question, everybody. Young people today are better qualified than they were in the past. Some people argue that this is because competition for jobs is greater than it used to be. Others say that people only continue their education because the opportunities exist for them to do so. Discuss both these views and give your own opinion. Okay, I want to develop something here with you today. Then, inshallah, starting from tomorrow, we are going to have, we say, fully developed opinion essay, fully developed argument essay like this one, and fully developed opinion essay, and then maybe problem solution essay. So today, I'm just going to prepare you for the class of tomorrow, inshallah. But first thing first, what is the topic? I want to make a revision with you about how to paraphrase the topic. Then present the task and what is your position. So step one, paraphrase the topic. So one, paraphrase. Paraphrase the topic. Okay, how to paraphrase the topic? What is the topic here? Young people today are better qualified than they were in the past. Young people today, yes. So that's the topic. This is the topic. So can you paraphrase it for me? So the fact is what? The fact is about what? Qualifications, very good. Yes, what is the fact about qualifications? Young people, youth in general, shabab, good, are okay, qualifications means, the word qualified means education, means skills, knowledge. So this is qualification, right? So this is qualified. So how anyone can put it in a sentence? Step one. These days, nowadays, yes, currently. Okay, is it a general view? Is it a personal view? Is it some people's view? So this is what? This is a general view. So you can start with generally, it is believed in general. Okay, so it is believed that, or nowadays, it is believed that what? Come on. This is your, inshallah, this is going to be like your exam. That young people, okay, yes. We don't say young people, you can say the youngsters, youth. Just rephrase the word. The young in society, youngsters, the youth are what? If I say more qualified, in what? They have more qualifications, better education than what? Than you say previous generations, than previous. Yes, previous generations. Okay. Now, so this is the topic, the fact. Youth, thank you for the word, the youth, Naji. So the youth, the young in society, youngsters, they have better qualifications, they are better qualified, better education than previous generations. This is the topic. Number 2, yes, show the task. Show task. Number 2. What do you say? Now look, some people, he says, some people, that this is because competition for jobs is greater than used to be. Others, reference word, كلمة إشارة, يعني معناها other people. So some people argue that this is because competition for jobs is greater than it used to be. Competition for work. Now, others, what does others means? The other side, the other view, the other group of people. Yes, say that people only continue their education because the opportunities for them to exist to do so. So what is the task here? Is it opinion or argument? So the task is argument. Yes, so how do you present it? Now, you gave the topic. Nowadays, it is believed, it is generally believed that young people or youngsters or youth are or have better qualifications or have better standards of education and qualifications, full stop. Then some, yes, Zenan, some people believe this is because what? Come on, use this one here. So because they have to compete for better jobs or because of job competition. Others, or while others, or on the other hand, others think this is because what? So the argument here, because of job competition. Job competition. Yes, competition. This is number 1. Then the other view, so this is a view 1. View 2, because what? Yes. They have better, yes, better education opportunities, better opportunities. What do you mean by better opportunities or education opportunities? Okay, in the past, was education easy in the past? Can anyone or could anyone go to a university maybe in the past? Could people do that in the past? Yes, but okay, yes, but is it the same? We say that how do they do exist now? You have maybe in one city, maybe you have 10 universities, 20 universities, thousands of schools maybe, but in the past, maybe in the whole city here, maybe we had one high school for boys, maybe one high school for girls, but now maybe in every street now we have schools, private schools, institutes, colleges, okay, training centers. So here the argument says, view 1, young people are better because they have to be good for what? To get a good job. This is one. Others, they say no, they are good because education is what? Is available. They have the access. For example, if I say 50 years ago, if you talk about to finish a college, to have a bachelor degree, then to have masters, then to get the PhD, who was thinking? Most of people, they finish primary school, primary, and they got a job, primary, preparatory, إعدادي, then maybe they have high school, ثانوي. So if they got high school, wow, that was, you can get a very good salary with high school. So anyway, opportunities always. Now, after you show the or paraphrase, after you paraphrase that question, step 1, step 2, you show the task. 3, position. What is your position? Are you with view 1? Young people are good because they have to work hard to get a good job, or you are with view 2? Young people are good because everything is available, or can we say both? Can we? Not concessional, no. This is, you can say both. Argument, but I am with both. Is it okay? Think about it. You say young people today are good because they have to work hard for a job, and of course they have good opportunities. Can we say both here? Can we join both?
No, you must follow one.
Why must? Why must? Just a minute. Not opinion, this is position. So position means, do you think, are you going to follow, to cover the point that they are good because they have to work hard for a job, or they are good because they have competition, they have opportunities, or they are good because they have to work hard and they have the opportunities? You can make a balanced argument if it is possible. If you remember, I gave you an example in the past about capital punishment, عقوبة الإعدام. So we say some people think that killers, people who kill people, should have a capital punishment. That means to be executed. While others, they think they should go for life imprisonment. So view 1, killers should be executed. View 2, killers should be sent to life imprisonment, يعني حبس طيلة مدة الحياة أو مؤبد. So you can't say both. يعني كيف both here? تعد موت حبسة ولا كيف? So here we cannot make balanced argument. So you have to, yeah, but here, is it possible? It is possible. Things, they are good because they have to work hard for a job. They are good because they have more technologies now. The access to knowledge is easier. In the past, maybe if you want to get a book or something, you have to buy it. You have to go to a library. But now, just balance means I am with both. That's balance. As I said, do you think which one is better, to study, to take distant classes or online classes or real classes? I think both are okay. Distant classes, online classes are okay because you don't have to pay much money. You don't have to get the visa and travel, whatever. And real classes are good because we have facilities, we have direct training. So both are okay. I'm pushing you guys to make it possible. يعني لما يجيك سؤال بهذا الشكل, discuss both. Can you make it balanced argument for a technical thing? Tomorrow حتعرفها إن شاء الله. It depends on the topic, because some topics we can't make it balanced. Okay, so if I ask you a question like debatable question, do you think the government should spend the money on space research or spend the money on solving problems on Earth? The money argument, to spend it on space research issues, the same money, or to use the money on solving problems on Earth. For me, I think why do we spend billions of dollars just on space research? Why shouldn't we just solve our problems? There was a joke about the $1 million pen. NASA, the 1960s at the beginning of 70s, because you know these pens, the common pens, they work according to the gravity principle of gravity. So gravity, al-jadibiyya, pulls the ink, so but how about in space? There is no gravity. So they invented a pen, can write without gravity. But the cost of that pen, the cost was $1 million of development researchers. The Russians said, okay, why don't you use a pencil out space? Just 1 million for a pen? Okay, use a pencil up there and end of the story. Anyway, maybe it's a joke, maybe it's real, I don't know, but this is how we make an argument. Is it balanced to spend money? Do you think more money should be spent on health issues or education issues? I think you can't say, you can use one side. I think education is more important. No, I think health is more important, or make it both for technical issues. You will see them tomorrow. When you see them, you say, yeah, this is because technically, balanced argument essay is the easiest in format. Opinion essay is a little bit more difficult in format. Any slip, any mistake, you will go down in mark. We don't want to go down, we want to go up. Now, if I say, I think both here, I think young people are good because they have to work hard to get a job, and they are good because they have opportunities. Now, after we finished here position we say here, we say balanced argument. Here we say balanced. Balanced. That means with what? With they look for jobs and the opportunities, or they have more opportunities. Okay, this is my plan. Of course, in the real exam, you will do this in just 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. Jobs. What do you mean by jobs? They have to work hard to be better qualified, to get better jobs. What do you mean by this? What's the main idea? Come on, guys, you work for a company and you know what does mean. You have to be qualified for a job. So here nowadays, what do most jobs need? So when you want to get a job, the first thing they ask about, you don't ask for the salary, you have to be accepted first. But when you go to say, I want to be an engineer, so the company asks, what is your certificate? So to get a good job, you need what? Do you go with a high school diploma, for example? No. So we say, well, you have to work to study more to get a good job. The more you study, the better job you can get. This is number one. Also, competition. What is competition here? Good jobs means good salaries. So they don't give a high salary, top salary for a person without, we say, suitable qualifications. So as a result, young people have a goal or a target to what? To achieve, to finish a good school, good college, whatever. Anyway, that's why in many countries they have what's called educational advisor in high schools. So students go to that advisor, he or she, so they, according to your level, your marks, grades, so they say, this is the best for you. So that's advisor, to look at the business market, to take a track. Now, on the other hand, other people claim young people are good because of, we say, more opportunities. This means, or by this I mean, now there are what? Many or too many? Thousands, maybe, millions online. So now knowledge, okay, or joining colleges or having, yes, courses is not, is what? Is more available than used to be, easier. So students can go to schools, they can study online or take courses, training courses. As a result, they can, their level is what? Is better. While in the past, students maybe they didn't have the same opportunities. No internet, no telecommunications, not too many universities or institutions. For example, here in Libya, it was, I think, one, not Umar, it was, what was the name of the, I think it's Jamia Libya, it was the Libyan University. Anyway, it was only one university. Then it became Tripoli University. Then now you can see we have how many? Each, I think, city has a university or a group of universities, not one, only one. Anyway, so this is what? This is part of accessibility. In these questions, the most important thing is to finish the idea. Don't say, don't think that, okay, jobs, the examiner knows about jobs. Yes, the examiner knows, but you have to write it down. Jobs are difficult to get. Jobs are more complicated now. For example, in the past, we just had, in the past, engineering and medicine, right? Now, in the same engineering or in the same medical, we say, category, or we say subject specialist, we have 10, 20, how many types of engineering now? I don't know, you know better than me. So each branch needs something. So this is for jobs. Accessibility, you can talk about easiness, free, compulsory education. In Libya, ta'lim ijbari for kids, especially for maybe to the high school, and it's free, no money to finish even the bachelor, even the master's, and even the PhD is free. So this is what? This is an opportunity. Tomorrow, inshallah, I'll start with this class to make it 1 unit. 1 unit tomorrow, I'm going to make a revision about all the techniques of the balanced argument, but with what? With a model answer, detailed, step by step. Then after that, we are going to have a detailed step-by-step opinion essay. So we can have them in one class. From there, we are going to repeat them maybe 20, 30 times. Then after that, we have what's called the problem solution essay, which is not difficult. You will see the procedure is easier. It looks like the opinion essay, but the procedure is easier. Anyway, but our focus will be main focus on opinion essay, how to go through it, and how to go through balanced argument essay. Both levels are band 9, and you will see band 9 is not a big deal anyway. Okay, guys? Anyway, thank you for being with me today. This is the end of the class anyway. I don't want to give more, but tomorrow will be a very, very important class, inshallah. See you tomorrow, and I'll put the link of the recording, inshallah, if you want to have a look. Yes, so yesterday, today, and tomorrow will be the most important parts of this course. Thanks, and see you tomorrow, inshallah, all well and in good health. Ma'as salama.